Rode waves for a living as a kid. Went out of high school doing that. Traveled on the surf tour as a professional bodyboarder. Rode BMX bikes, skated, did pretty much everything, that you could do in action sports, and hung out with guys like Trigger Gum, who's like my brother, and we got into a lot of trouble doing all those fun things. But grew up around guys like Christian Fletcher and Nathan Fletcher, and guys that are really at the forefront of action sports. It was kind of cool that's where we came from.
The perception people get of me is probably just some punk kid that came in and, trying to get everything handled, but, I try and get it done as well as I can and put the best broadcast that I can out there. And I think a lot of them realize once they work with me for a day or two, realize that I got my stuff handled and I take care of the business.
Casey, when I first started working with him 2 years ago, he was like a guy that was cleaning up on a job site. And he came in and he learned and he proved to people. I was impressed with him right away, but now all of a sudden this guy who's just like this totally young punk is running the production for the Amp'd live truck and for Supercross, and I think that's cool.
My job entails of setting up production companies, anywhere from the whole crew to just getting a director to editors and whatnot. Getting all the connectivity, our internet, for being able to put the streams out to the phones. I also direct the actual show that goes onto the phone. The broadcast ultimately goes out to about 250,000 subscribers. If you include Japan and Canada, it goes up to the millions. My routine before the broadcast is put together full show format for hand that out to the crew, give all the contacts out to the crew, make sure the T1's set up, and then coordinating with my assistants and whatnot to get travel set up for the whole crew and make sure everyone's going to be there on time.
Well, once they shoot it, we capture it here on the decks. They do in the pits, they do a bunch of interviews and stuff. Me and Dylan here will switch everything up. We'll decide who's gonna do what. Like for instance, today Dylan did the highlight package for the in the pits and all the interviews, and I took care of the in the pits show. And we pretty much do that every weekend. We just decide who's gonna do what and we go from there.
Once the show starts, once the actual broadcast starts, it's gets pretty intense. You don't really think of anything else. You just not even really listening to the broadcast to the fullest extent. You're thinking about what's coming up next, and it's an adrenaline rush, kind of like the writers, but it's for producing, directing. To tell you the truth, the first Supercross that I actually was in charge of the broadcast fully, I was nervous. I was nervous for sure, but in the back of my head, I knew what to get done and what needed to be done to make the broadcast go smooth, and my number one fear was just the actual live time calling something wrong or having the screen go black or whatnot. All those things run through your head, but when it came down to it, I knew that I can take care of it, and I had to step it up and show them what I can do. We are the first ones to do a live broadcast to a phone, which is a really cool deal for me to be a part of.
to Amp'd TV for the Amp'd Mobile AMA Supercross. This is In the Pits, and we are hanging out in the pits. Real simple. The name of the show is what we're doing. The crowd is going to be packed, and they are ready to see some hot racing in both the Supercross lights and the Supercross series, Cameron.
They definitely are, and either you're super amped up to be in San Diego or those steroids are starting to get to your head, dude.
The truth about Apple and myself is that, you know, I want to kick his ass sometimes because he tells people that I'm his dad, and they believe it.
It's been about 16, 17 years since I met him, and I mean, there's just so much history that we have, and you know, so many things we've been involved with together. You know, I've been really lucky to have somebody like Cameron basically, I mean, for lack of a better word, babysit me.
We used to call him Rash at the beach when he was like less than 10 years old, and he was an aspiring bodyboarder, and I was a pro bodyboarder.
You know, I really do, you know, owe a great deal to him as far as, you know, my career on announcing live events, doing TV events, and